Why would someone pay $5,000 for a handbag that costs $200 to make? Why do people line up for hours to buy limited edition sneakers? Why does a logo on a t-shirt multiply its price by 10? Welcome to the fascinating psychology of luxury brands, where price has almost nothing to do with cost and everything to do with human psychology, status, identity, and emotion. Today, I'm revealing the psychological tricks luxury brands use to make you crave their products and pay absurd prices willingly. If you've ever wondered why luxury works, or if you've ever bought something just for the brand, this will blow your mind. Let's dive in. 10. The aspiration ladder and brand hierarchies. Finally, luxury brands create psychological ladders of aspiration where consumers continuously climb toward higher tiers. This keeps people engaged and spending across their entire lifetime as their income grows. Psychologically, this exploits our natural desire for progress and achievement. Climbing the brand hierarchy feels like personal growth and success. Each tier reached provides temporary satisfaction before the next tier becomes the new aspiration. The brands make this journey feel natural through product tiering, VIP programs, and relationship building. Your personal shopper helps you graduate to higher tiers. Invitation-only access makes you feel you've achieved something. The entire system is designed to keep you aspirating, climbing, and spending. 9. The quality perception halo. Luxury brands benefit from a powerful perception that higher price equals higher quality, even when the quality difference doesn't justify the price difference. This quality perception halo makes expensive products feel better regardless of objective reality. Blind taste tests consistently show that people can't reliably distinguish expensive wines from cheap ones, yet wine enthusiasts swear expensive bottles taste better. The knowledge of the price actually changes the perception of quality. The same psychological effect applies across luxury categories. Luxury brands leverage this by emphasizing craftsmanship details, exotic materials, and production methods in their marketing. These details often have minimal functional impact, but create the perception of exceptional quality that justifies pricing. The story of quality becomes more important than measurable quality differences. 8. Emotional gratification and retail therapy. Luxury brands understand that their products provide emotional gratification that transcends functional utility. Buying luxury isn't about needing a bag or watch, it's about how the purchase makes you feel in the moment and afterward. Retail therapy is a real psychological phenomenon where shopping temporarily alleviates negative emotions and stress. Luxury purchases provide an especially powerful hit because they combine the general pleasure of shopping with status affirmation and identity expression. It's emotional self-medication disguised as consumption. The problem is that emotional gratification from purchases is temporary. The high fades, and you need another purchase to recapture it. This cycle drives continuous consumption that benefits brands but leaves consumers in a perpetual state of desire and temporary satisfaction. 7. The power of association and celebrity endorsement. Luxury brands spend billions associating their products with celebrities, athletes, influencers, and aspirational lifestyles. This isn't accidental. It's psychological warfare targeting your unconscious associations and desires. When you see a celebrity wearing a brand, your brain creates an association. If you admire that celebrity, positive feelings transfer to the brand. This is called the halo effect, or associative conditioning. You begin to unconsciously associate the brand with the qualities you admire in the celebrity. Success, beauty, talent, cool. Psychology here exploits our natural tendency toward imitation and social learning. We look to admired figures to understand what's valuable, desirable, and status-conferring. When high-status individuals consistently choose certain brands, those brands become markers of high status in our minds. 6. The endowment effect and luxury investment narrative. Luxury brands increasingly position their products not as expenses but as investments. This narrative exploits the endowment effect. our tendency to value things more once we own them, and reframes luxury purchases as financially rational decisions rather than emotional splurges. The reality is more complex. Yes, some luxury items do appreciate, but most don't. The secondary market for most luxury goods shows significant depreciation the moment you walk out of the store. But the investment narrative is so appealing that people ignore this data and focus on the exceptional cases that did appreciate. Limited editions and collaborations amplify this investment narrative. When brands release numbered items or celebrity collaborations, they create the perception of future value. Whether or not the item actually appreciates, the possibility justifies the purchase in the buyer's mind. 5. Social status and signaling theory. Perhaps the most fundamental psychology behind luxury brands is status signaling. Humans are social creatures obsessed with hierarchy and status. Luxury brands provide socially recognized signals of status that communicate your position in the social hierarchy. The psychology gets even more complex with quiet luxury, where the extremely wealthy avoid obvious branding precisely because obvious logos have become associated with aspirational middle-class consumption rather than true wealth. Status signaling becomes a multi-layered game, where different signals communicate to different audiences. 4. The halo effect of heritage and storytelling. Luxury brands invest heavily in storytelling, heritage, and craftsmanship narratives that create a halo effect, making everything associated with the brand feel more valuable. These stories aren't just marketing. They're psychological anchors that justify premium pricing and create emotional connections. Psychologically, we're wired for stories. Facts and figures don't move us emotionally, but narratives do. A brand that tells a compelling story creates emotional attachment that transcends rational evaluation. You're not comparing specifications, you're feeling connected to a narrative that speaks to your values and aspirations. 3. Scarcity and exclusivity drive desire. Luxury brands are masters of artificial scarcity. They deliberately limit supply to create the perception that their products are rare, exclusive, and difficult to obtain. This scarcity triggers powerful psychological responses that drive desire and justify premium pricing. Hermes produces far fewer Birkin bags than demand warrants. This artificial scarcity makes the bag infinitely more desirable. It's not just expensive, it's unobtainable, which makes people want it even more. The ultimate scarcity play is making products available only to certain people. Private sales, VIP access, members-only releases. These create tiers of exclusivity, where access itself becomes a status marker separate from the product. 2. Identity and self-expression through brands. Luxury brands understand something profound about human psychology, use possessions to construct and communicate our identity. When you buy a luxury brand, you're not just buying a product, you're buying an identity, a story about who you are or who you want to be. Wearing a Rolex isn't just about telling time, it's about signaling success and achievement. Driving a Mercedes isn't just about transportation, it's about communicating taste and status. Carrying a Louis Vuitton bag isn't about carrying stuff, it's about projecting an image of sophistication and wealth. The brilliance of luxury brands is making their products identity shortcuts. Instead of achieving actual sophistication, success, or creativity, you can purchase symbols that communicate these things. It's identity on easy mode, which is exactly why people pay premium prices. 1. The Veblen effect. When higher prices increase desire. Let's start with something counterintuitive. For luxury goods, higher prices actually make them more desirable, not less. This is called the Veblen effect, named after economist Thorstein Veblen, who studied conspicuous consumption. Normal products follow the law of demand. Higher prices reduce demand. Luxury brands operate in reverse. Psychologically, expensive things feel more valuable. We assume that something costing $5,000 must be better than something costing $500, even when the functional difference is minimal. Luxury brands exploit this cognitive bias ruthlessly. They're not charging for materials or craftsmanship alone, They're charging for the psychological value of prestige. Luxury brands aren't selling products. They're selling psychology, identity, status, emotion, and aspiration. Understanding these mechanisms doesn't necessarily break their spell, but it does give you power to make more conscious choices about what you buy and why. If this opened your eyes to the psychology behind your purchases, hit that like button and subscribe for more content revealing the hidden psychology of consumer culture. Drop a comment. Which luxury brand psychological trick surprised you most? Thanks for watching, and remember, awareness is the first step to conscious consumption. I'll see you in the next one.